Leeds United look like they're about to make another move for a very promising youngster, this one playing up in Scotland, but he's also sort of Welsh. I will get into that in a little bit more detail towards the end of the video. In this video, I'm going to run through Phil Hay discussing Archie Gray, his new contract, potential moves, all that sort of stuff. Enzo Maresca being a little bit of a prick in his recent press conference. That's a little bit over the top, but he's trying to play mind games. We'll see if it works. And Leeds United are eyeing up an incredible young striker. But first, I want to know your thoughts on the Leeds United versus Leicester City match that is coming up tonight. I'm travelling over there as we speak in order to watch the match. So I want to know your predictions for the score, and I'll try and make some various bits and bobs of content as I go. We'll see. So, first story of the day is Phil Hay on Archie Gray. That rhymes really, really nicely. He discussed Archie Gray in the Phil Hay show on Thursday that came out, not Friday. My bad. The days are all wrong in my head because we're playing on Friday rather than Saturday. Hay noted that they were very conscious of wanting a good right back, but they didn't want to immediately compromise Gray's minutes, which makes complete sense to me on both fronts. First up, Leeds United were very clearly lacking a right back. We'd lost we'd lost Luke Ayling, who has been a near permanent in the Leeds United side for years now. And at the same time, we'd lost Jed Spence, who was a loanee from a Premier League club who, on the face of it, had a lot of promise when he came down to Leeds United, and then it turns out that his attitude was completely wrong, and that just led to problem after problem after problem. Hence needing the right back. But emphasising that we didn't want to compromise Gray's minutes is a pretty good sign, because it shows not only that we have a financial investment in Archie Gray, but a squad-building investment in him as well. It shows a lot of trust in a young player to say, we will sign someone that doesn't need to take your place immediately, because it means that he can have a little bit of confidence in the fact that he'll be able to keep starting matches for the club, keep playing, and be able to remain in that good run of form that Archie Gray is in right now, and that is especially good for his development. I think Connor Roberts will genuinely struggle to break into the 11 at the minute, for good reason as well. We've won our last 8 matches, we've kept clean sheets in 7, and a big part of that is Archie Gray coming on, performing incredibly well, and developing into the player that we know he can turn into. And ultimately, I think this is the perfect squad for Archie Gray's development as well, because the players around him are players that are developing at the same time as him, whilst being a little bit ahead of him in terms of their development. So you look at Crescencio Somerville, our left winger, will be training against Archie Gray. Somerville started the season at a fairly good level, and as it's gone on, he's just gotten better and better and better, and that's meant that Archie Gray, as he develops, will have a more difficult opponent every single time he trains, because Somerville is getting that little bit higher in level, so Gray has to try and match it. And that means that the development of both of them is absolutely spectacular, because they're forced to develop against one another. And I know that that's a sort of like theoretical thing, and it's not 100% guaranteed, but I think that's going to play a big role in Gray moving forward, and why I quite like us having a very young squad. Our young squad compares against Leicester's in that we are very, very close to the top of the table, and Enzo Maresca has resorted to trying mind games ahead of the Leicester versus Leeds United match. This isn't too much of a serious one. It's not one that I'm particularly bothered about, but I thought it worth talking about. The Leicester manager has recently tried to get in Leeds United's heads by saying that it's a big game for Leeds, but not for Leicester. That feels a bit of a weird one. Like, on the face of it, he's sort of right, because we need the 3 points more than they do. If they lose, they're still 6 points clear at the top of the table. But ironically, I think this just shows how crucial the game is for them. You don't try to mind game someone if you're incredibly comfortable. You just say, yeah, it's going to be a tough match. They're in second place for a reason. Something along those lines, rather than saying that it's important for the other team but not for you. That feels like it's sort of downplaying the fixture and preparing for a loss. And that tells me that confidence in the Leicester camp isn't as high as it could be. And you saw a little bit of that in a live stream I did yesterday, in which I did a little bit of a Leicester preview. And a Leicester fan came in and sort of went, tell you what, I'm a little bit scared of Somerville and Repair. And that feels like something that could be permeating its way into the squad, and that will be absolutely ideal for us. It will give us the perfect opportunities to seal all 3 points, especially if they keep on struggling. And if they're trying to play mind games, it tells me that we might be in their heads as well. This is reading a lot into something that I do not fully understand, but sod it. If people say that YouTubers make content up as they go along, I'm going to lean into that. No, that's fine. This is a match that could either win them the title effectively. They will go 12 points clear of us if they win this match, or blow it wide open. They will be 6 points ahead with a lot of difficult matches coming up. And that could really, really make things very difficult for Leicester, and we want to be a part of that, I think. I'll be at the match. Just let me know what you want to see from it. That would be absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much. And in addition to that, Leeds United have a new superstar likely coming. Leeds are chasing the signing of Scottish centre-forward Bobby Wales. Told you it was technically Welsh. He is a striker at Kilmarnock, sort of. Maybe. He's currently on loan at Alloa Athletic, who are in Scottish League One, and you would imagine that being 18, he wouldn't have the best numbers, but he scored 7 goals in 16 matches at Alloa, which is an absolutely spectacular return for anybody, never mind someone that's 18 years old. And Scottish League One, not the best. I'd call it roughly Vanarama National League sort of level. But even then, for an 18-year-old to be performing to that standard, scoring 7 in 16 means that he has a lot of interest in him, including from Kilmarnock. He only signed a new contract 5 months ago, which means that Kilmarnock clearly like him and would like him to develop there a little bit. But being 18 years old, that means that the decision isn't entirely in their hands. He's still technically a youth player, and that means that we can make quite an interesting move on him. Reportedly, there is also interest from Stoke and Ipswich Town, so this isn't necessarily going to be a Leeds signing, but if you are a centre-forward in Scotland and you're looking south across the border, do you look at Stoke and Ipswich, or do you look at Leeds United, who have very recently been in the Premier League, have a history of being in the Premier League, and could very likely provide a platform for you to grow? That, I think, will be the choice. I don't see that contract that was signed 5 months ago being too restrictive, because Kilmarnock will probably want the money that will come from a wonder-kid centre-forward that is performing at such a level. And in addition to that, the player isn't necessarily going to want to stay at Kilmarnock for his entire career, because it's not the best place to be. He's been there since he was 9, but at the same time, when you've got Leeds, Ipswich, Stoke calling, at the very least, that's the Championship. It's probably the Premier League if you choose the right club. All good. It will require a compensation payment from Leeds United due to his age. It will be one of the youth academy bringing up compensation payments. It won't, well, it could be a bid that the two clubs agree between themselves, but it's likely cheaper to go through the FA, sort it out compensatory that way. And I think it's a very good sign of further investment in the academy. I've mentioned a couple of times that Leeds United's academy has fallen by the wayside recently because our incredible youth talent has now become first-team talent, or it's rotated out, such as McGurk leaving, Lewis Bate going out on loan, Jan Paveda leaving on loan, but he's only got 6 months on his contract, so he's gone permanently. It needs to be time for this second wave, well, not second, but next wave of youth talent to come in through the door, and I think that Bobby Wills will be a fantastic start to that. Give us some nice attacking impetus that we can build around and hopefully get more performances going in the under-18s, under-21s, and keep on building from there, and hopefully build the future of Leeds United. But ultimately, I want to know what you think, both about the academy, about the Leicester versus Leeds match, and about Archie Gray and the amount of minutes he's getting. I don't think Roberts really sees a start this season unless Gray gets a knock. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe. And we'll see you later. I think the word to comment down below, if you've watched all the way to the end, should be train ride, because I'm currently on a train. That feels like thematically good. Can you tell that it's really late? See you later.